Hey guys, Andy here, and today we have our first of quite a few ranking videos. But before we get on into it, if you like today's makeup, I did this over on my TikTok. Finally, I am back. Everything that I'm wearing and all of my socials will be listed down below. If you don't do TikTok, just what I'm wearing will be listed down there. But this is with the Cara Beauty Time Traveler palette, which is the first pro palette I'd ever tried from them, and I really liked it. But we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna get into my foundation ranking. So if you're excited, I would love to have you here. I'm participating in Vlogmas, so we're gonna do content all month long. So if you like makeup unboxings with a little bit of horror sprinkled in, please consider subscribing, and let's just go ahead and get on into it. All right, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 foundations. And it bothers me that I have an odd number, but 2 of them are empties because they were samples. But not samples as in foil packets, actual physical samples. Because that's the only thing I'm not including, because I don't think foil packets, at least for me in my collection, they don't really count. But I feel like samples like this do count because it is a physical bottle and it was several uses that I had this. So that's just how I'm doing this. Everyone can do their rankings their own way. But I have 11 here that I'm ranking today, and we're just going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to start off with my number 1 because we're going to start with the good. Most people go from the worst to the best and save the best for last. And maybe I should. In fact, did you see it? Did you see it already? Should we start at the end? Should we start with number 11? And there are none that are worse, that are bad. I'm not decluttering any. My declutter is already done. That will be a separate video at the very end. But none of these are declutters. The only reason this foundation is ranking at number 11, this is the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Glow. And this is in the shade F2. It does have a pump. Let me go ahead and I'm going to do my best to swatch these for you. So that is the shade there. The only reason that this is ranking so low is because I have not put this on my face yet. It's the only foundation in my collection that I have yet to actually try on the skin. I have to rank it so low because I don't know why I haven't tried this. I've swatched it, and I used to use the Conceal and Hydrate in the shade F2, and it was a perfect match for me, so I'm sure that this will be fine. But I need to put this on my face so I can, figure that out. But I just wanted to get through some more foundations before I did that. But yeah, I have not put this one on my face yet, so it just lives in my to-try bin. My number 10 foundation is the Rimmel Stay Matte, and I have the shade 91 Light Ivory. I picked this up on a whim because I don't hear people talk about Rimmel London very often. This is such an interesting, it's a mousse, basically. So that is the shade there. It is a bit more pink. Like I said, it's a mousse. This is matte. It is the most matte foundation that I have. And this is why it's ranking so low for me, is just because it's not what I'm going for anymore. If there's a day that I need to be extremely matte and full coverage, that is when I will reach for this. But those days are so few and far between now because I just prefer a glowy, dewy look, even though I have oily skin, that I just don't reach for this as much. It does say that it's lightweight and it has shine control, it's breathable, and those are all true claims. I just don't reach for the super matte foundations anymore. So this is just losing its place in my collection. But I've used so much of it and it still smells fine. So it's something that I want to try to get some more use on, that I still use it here and there. It ranks so low because it's not my preference anymore. The next one, ranking number 9, is the Maybelline Green Edition Tinted Oil. And I have mine in the shade 10, which is the lightest shade. A lot of people hated this. It comes in a dropper. I'm just gonna do a little drop here. Doing my best to give you a swatch. And that is the shade there. I didn't think that I was going to like this. Again, I also purchased this. I purchased all of these. Except one I got through Influencer. And, I mean, I purchased Ipsy. So, like... But... regardless, I purchased this myself on a whim because I was like, a tinted oil? What does that even mean? Like, I saw this in store and I was so intrigued with my oily skin. Like, I wondered how this would fare. And I've seen so many people that hate this, but, like, I like it. I don't think it wears super long, like, but I think it looks nice on my skin. I think it blends well with all the other products. Like, I powder it, but I powder all of my foundations. So I don't mind it. I think it looks nice. I like it on my skin. I wish they had a better shade range, but it's so light coverage that, like, it does have that bit of flexibility, but I wish their shade range was better because, as you can see, like, that is definitely more yellow than probably anything else, and that's the lightest shade. But it is what it is. Ranking number 8 for me is my Yensa Super Serum Silk Foundation. I got this in an Ipsy. I picked this, and I love this. I think this is great. This is ranking lower for me because of the shade. So that is it right there. And because it is so fragranced. So this has a bakuchiol in it, which is a retinol alternative. And if you've never used that, it has a scent to it. Like, it's not horrible, but, like, you smell it when you're putting, and it's just, I don't like the smell of it. But for me, this one is in the shade light medium. Like, that was what Ipsy, like, that was my choice. That was the lightest shade that my choice could give me, was light medium. And, like, it works. But it won't work right now, like, because I'm in winter. And I don't do that. Like, I don't have summer shades because I don't get that much deeper. I don't get a tan in the summer. But when I got this in July, it did work. So, like, I mean, I did get a little bit of sun. So, like, this is going to be a summer shade, but in the winter. So, like, I can't use this all year long. And so this is why I had to rank lower. If I had this probably in, like, the next shade up, like, just light, I would be singing all of the praises because I think this looks beautiful. It wears beautifully, but it's just the shade that is holding this back for me. The next one is a little sample I had of the Born This Way matte from Too Faced in the shade Snow. And I don't think I'll be able to give you guys, oh, there was enough to give you a little swatch. Because this is an empty. I have completely used it up, but there is the swatch there. And I loved this. This was my go-to summer foundation. Like, it did not move. It did not budge in the heat, in the sweat. It didn't transfer. Like, this next summer, I might buy the full size of this because this was my go-to. Like, and this would replace this for me. So, but I don't know if I'm going to want to spend, but I don't know if this is going to be good coming next summer. So, you know, maybe I should declutter this. We'll see. I'll have to revisit that at a later date. Right now, I still like it and I want to keep it. But I definitely want to purchase the full size of this. Snow is the perfect shade for me. I love this. This is going in my empties bin, so spoiler for that. But had to include it. And the next little guy that is also an empty, this was the YSL new Bare Look Tint, and I had mine in the shade 2. And I didn't think I was going to like this because skin tints, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to get a swatch for you either. Let me see. Oh. But I absolutely, and it's that one there, loved it. Thought it blended out beautifully. It wore beautifully. Like, this makes me want to buy this skin tint, and it's making me look into lighter coverage products, and I don't like light coverage, and that's a game changer for me. And for YSL, it's not super expensive. It's like $39. So I was like, okay, I was prepared for it to be like $65 for like YSL. Like, so that's also going in my empties. But that is my first round of swatches there. I'll do the rest on this hand. So now we're in top five category here. So the next one is going to be my Revlon Candid Glow, and I have the shade 110 Porcelain. I just tried this for the first time, like last week, and I love this. I think it wears beautifully. It's a light buildable coverage. Like, it gives me what I want and then some. I think it's a really beautiful foundation. Absolutely gorgeous. Like, from this foundation forward, I absolutely love all of these. This one lives in my everyday makeup bag right now for days that I just want a lighter coverage, or if I'm not gonna do a full beat. Like, this lives in my everyday makeup bag right now. Next, we have what I am currently hoping to be an empty by the end of the year, because this guy's almost done. This is my NYX Born to Glow, and I have mine in the shade Porcelain. I like this foundation. I hate the squeezy tube packaging, because when I first bought this and it was super full, it was very hard to use. That is the shade right here. Because when it was full, you would open it and it would just start pouring out. Now that it's almost empty, it's super easy to use and I don't mind it, but I love the coverage. I love how glowy it is. It's a dupe for the Eyeshadow, which is my next foundation. But I love this. I'm trying to finish this for my end of the year empties, because I'm at the point where, like, so sorry, my stand moved. I'm at the point where not only am I having to squeeze it completely, but I'm having to, like, wiggle it and maneuver it in weird ways to get foundation out. So, like, we're so close to being done with this guy. I'm ready. So this also lives in my everyday makeup bag. Now, we have my Shiseido Synchro Skin, which the NYX is a dupe for. Stay. So sorry. And this is, I have mine in the shade 130 Opal. And I did a video showing that the NYX was a dupe for this. But this also lives in my everyday makeup bag because I love this foundation. It's also older in my collection. So as soon as the NYX is done, this is the next one I want to be working on. But that is it there. And it's just absolutely beautiful. If you've never tried it, I highly recommend. Like, it's oil-free. It's got an SPF 30. It is absolutely gorgeous. So those three foundations, beautiful. And you're like, Andy, how can it get any better? Like, you're singing the praises. Like, those are in your everyday makeup bag. If those are in your everyday makeup bag, what can be any better than that? Well, the reason why the next two are not in my everyday makeup bag is because I've already finished these. And they're not in my empties because I had moved and made smaller empties videos. So you've seen these months back as empties. But I've already went through a whole bottle of both of these foundations, and these are repurchases. So my number two, and this was so hard for me to pick which one of these is my top favorite because they're so interchangeable. This is the Uoma by Sharon C Flawless IRL Skin Perfecting Foundation, and I have mine in the shade Fair Lady T1. So I love this, and it's gorgeous. That is the shade right there. It's just slightly more yellow, but like it doesn't pull yellow on my skin. It is so beautiful, and it's medium to full coverage, but it's got skincare ingredients, and it just makes my skin feel so happy and hydrated and pretty, and it wears beautifully. Anything I put on top of it looks fantastic. It's a good price for the drugstore. It's easily accessible. I want them to come out with a concealer to go with this. That's what I want. But this is so good. It was so hard to rank these two, but yeah, the only reason this is getting the number 2 spot to my number 1 is because my number 1 is the Hard Candy Glamiflage, and I have mine in the shade Linen. So for me, I hadn't even reopened it, but this is fine. So this comes with a giant doe foot applicator, and I love this. I have never gone through a foundation so quickly when I went through this last one. And that's not because of lack of product. It's because I loved it so much. I didn't use anything else. Didn't touch anything in my collection. That is the shade there. It's a perfect shade match for me. This, you can use it foundation, concealer with the doe foot applicator. My only tip with this, which is why it was hard to rank these, because I feel like I can put this on like brush, sponge. You can do your entire face at once. Like, I don't have to be finicky. I don't have to be particular. I can just wear this. But I just love this so much more. But my one thing that I will caution you with this is it dries quickly, so you need to work in sections at a time. So I will do my forehead and nose and chin all at once, and then I do one whole cheek and one whole cheek. Like, I'll do one cheek at once, blend it all out, get it all looking nice, and then I'll do the other cheek. Like, you have to work in sections. You can't do, or like if you want to do one whole half and then the other half, but you can't just dot it all on your whole face and then be like, I'm going to come back and do it. It will have dried. This dries quickly, so you have to work quickly. And not everyone is okay with that. But as soon as I learned that I needed to just work in sections instead of covering my face with foundation dots and then blending it out as I go, this is a dream. And this is like, and it does. It says on the bottle, wears for hours, and it absolutely does. It great with a sponge, great with a brush, great with just the doe foot applicator. Like, built-in ease of application. I love it. Like, I don't have any other foundation that comes with that, and I love that for me and what I do. So those are all my foundations. They're all, and see, like, you can pick out that light, medium Yensa, like, so easily that it's too dark for me, pretty much, at all times. But it does work, and I promise it does, but it just, So that was my foundation ranking. I hope you guys enjoyed. The next will be concealers, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.